Tuesday, it was reported that Centers of Disease Control and Prevention and the Food and Drug Administration announced that they were recommending a pause in the administration of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine out of an abundance of caution. According to released statements, officials are examining whether the vaccine was linked to 6 cases in the U.S. of rare and severe type of blood clot. The one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine has been administered more than 6.8 million times across the country. But we have found 6 cases out of the 6.8 million, 6 cases. And so they've stopped. Put a pin in that. By the way, so you have an idea, the risk of blood clots from the pill is 2,000 times higher than what Johnson & Johnson is experiencing now in the vaccine. The pill, 2,000 times higher for these exact blood clots. Why is this being stopped? Okay, put a pin in it. I'm coming back. I need to talk to you about a couple of fronts that I'm just going to go over just so you are aware of. But we'll do all the work on this so you don't have to worry about it. We have our eyes on it. Romania's former anti-Russian president is saying now that NATO will not lift a finger for Ukraine. And in his opinion, the Russians will now occupy Ukraine, the whole country, and threaten Europe next. There's an allegation that Hungary has made a secret deal with Moscow to get territory it lost in World War II if they leave NATO. Putin has threatened war with NATO if they intervene in support of Ukraine. The reason why this is coming up now is because there are 250,000 troops that Russia has deployed on the Ukrainian border. Now, they expect, experts who are watching this, that number will rapidly increase over the next couple of weeks. The Russians have said, no, this is a regular exercise. No, it's not. No, it's not. Now, they may retreat if we stand up, but we're not going to. The Russians are also deploying mobile mortars. This according to Janes, which watches this stuff for a living. That these mortars will fire tactical nuclear weapons, and such weapons are being moved up to the border right now. Secretary of Defense Austin is going to NATO headquarters as the war alert level has been raised to potential imminent threat. Putin is going to deliver a speech in the next 10 days. Rumors in Russia say it will be an ultimatum of some kind. The ground in Ukraine is muddy at the moment. When it dries by mid-May or later, the Russian offensive, some believe, will begin. The Ukrainian president, Zelensky, says that war cannot be avoided now. Let me say that again. War cannot be avoided now. Ukraine will lose its sovereignty if it gave in to the present Russian demands. Zelensky said war might be avoided if NATO admitted Ukraine as a member. The United States, despite Joe Biden saying, I'm tough on Putin, said, no, we're not going to do that. We are now in the period, what has been called one clenched fist, in which Russia and China start flexing their military muscle. We'll see how it plays over the next couple of weeks. There will be serious economic consequences because of the Russian army. It'll be much closer and more threatening, and NATO will have an absolute crisis. Massive amounts of money will be needed, and guess who will have to pony up for all of that? Now let me give you, do you remember what you put a pin in? Let me give you something else that we're watching on the war front. The new Director of National Intelligence has issued a report saying, quote, some hard-hit developing countries are experiencing financial and humanitarian crisis, increasing the risks of surges in migration, collapsed governments, or internal conflict. I'm quoting, the economic fallout from the pandemic is likely to create or worsen instability in at least a few and perhaps many countries, as people grow more desperate in the face of interlocking pressures that include sustained economic downturns, job losses, and disrupted supply chains. If there is a collapse, still quoting, if there is an economic collapse in any given country, it is only natural that there will be migration flows to places where the economy is more robust. Are we concerned about the economic impacts that this might have, which could lead to migration? As militaries face growing calls to cut budgets, gaps are emerging in the U.S. peacekeeping operations, military training and preparedness, counterterrorism operations, and arms control monitoring, verification, and compliance. These gaps are likely to grow without a quick end to the pandemic and a rapid recovery, making managing a conflict more difficult, particularly because the pandemic has not caused any making things smaller in the number of intensity or of conflicts. My God, how did I get this job? I apologize.
Radio Hall of Fame.
We expect COVID-19 to remain a threat to populations worldwide until vaccines and therapeutics are widely distributed. Let me again take that pin back out now and talk about Johnson & Johnson. 2,000 times more likely to have those blood clots with the pill than with this vaccine. Why are we shutting things down? Why is this happening? Why aren't we doing everything we can to get back onto our feet and open things up? Why are we not watching our border and making our border super strong if our director of national intelligence is saying revolutions are coming? And when one boat is swamped, people will rush and swamp the next boat. Oh, by the way, one last in this. Iran has ramped up uranium enrichment to the highest levels they've ever done as Biden seeks to re-enter the nuclear deal. Okay. I'm done with all that. We will keep our eye on that for you.